Hi, this is Jim Gilsdorf. He's a Quality and Mission Success Principal for the F-35 at Lockheed Martin. For the first part of this interview, we will be talking about exporting, importing, and countertrade. How has Lockheed Martin benefited from exporting its goods?
We've talked previously in some of the other interviews about the aircraft being very expensive, and to make it affordable for other countries, or so that they can buy more of the aircraft, they actually build a good portion of the aircraft. When they start that co-production thing, we will give them components that we've built previously to kind of ease them into the build process. We control or manage their supply system, make sure they've got good parts coming from either our suppliers or suppliers we've helped them develop to get their pieces. So we export that. We also import pieces from them that says we won't initially have them build the entire airplane, but they may build a bigger assembly or a larger component from what the parts we provided them, and they give it back. And then while we're building our airplanes, we can actually monitor how well they're performing to help set up their build process as well too. So that import and export process helps us manage their maturity and development to build their portion of the airplanes.
Okay. What kind of materials does Lockheed Martin export, and why are these particular goods exported?
Export and imported, basically, in many cases, different countries have different business, or the different countries we set up businesses that of what they're good at. One country may have built parts of the airplane. It just went dark.
It's okay.
You'll edit this, I hope it. One country may have a part of the airplane that is very good at building electrical harnesses. So we will give them the components to build that piece, and then we may either export from us or directly from the suppliers components they need to build whatever part, major assemblies they're building. At the same time, if they're very good at building electrical harnesses, for example, we may stop building the electrical harnesses in the United States, and we'll import those specific, enough of those to build our planes as well. That all offsets the entire cost of the airplanes as well too. So we try to provide what is the best business environment for the foreign governments and those customers there, but at the same time we have to maintain business health for our suppliers too.
Okay. Now we are going to go on to Chapter 14 of Global Production, Outsourcing, and Logistics. What factor do logistics play in Lockheed Martin's business success, and can you give me an example to illustrate it?
Sure. We'll go back to the winning of the F-35 program from the other competitor here in the United States, and then how we sell the airplane versus competitors from other international corporations as well. At the F-35, at the onset of the F-35, we had about 5 or 6 international governments that had pledged their support and to buy airplanes from the F-35 based off of not just the fact that our airplane outperformed the competition in the various fly-offs and the ability to demonstrate missile delivery or weapons delivery and all of the other performance characteristics of the airplane, but these can be 20 or 30-year programs, not only to build the plane initially, but to support a long-term modernization and sustainment thing. So the global supply chain logistics, our SAP systems, our interaction with a committed supply chain that has proven business practices, our ability that we have had international co-production on F-16 and C-130 and other programs, those were all major factors in not only the United States government, but the international government selecting the F-35 over other airplanes that were in the competition for their business.
How has technology enhanced the production of Lockheed Martin's goods?
information is knowledge. So the fact that we're building various airplanes and they're monitored across a large supply chain where there may be 7, 8 tiers of suppliers to build an airplane, and the fact that to build a single airplane may take early in the program 14 months, eventually we'll get to 5 months, but you have to have the build plan, the sequence, the critical paths of how to get this to make sure you always have parts at the time you need it, in the right quality, in the right quantity, in the right place, because again, we're moving parts across the world to go do this stuff. Prior to having that technology or the capability to effectively plan that, you would have had to rely on having large inventories of materials at each stage of the process. That adds money, or it costs a whole lot more. That says you basically have to have X number of parts in place at one time, and you've invested that money, and until that part is bought, used, and then sold eventually as a final airplane, you don't get your money back. So it has saved costs. Also, during the development or the build of these airplanes, they're continually maturing, so if you have an engineering change or something to improve it, all of those other parts you would have previously bought are no longer needed or can be obsolete. So it helps greatly with being able to build the airplane in as short a time as possible, and also the cost of not having to carry excess inventories.
What role does foreign factories play in the production of your products?
Very, very, very large percentage. Like I said, the foreign governments may not be able to buy 40 fighter jets if they weren't offsetting their costs. So we may not get any business from them because they may say we just can't live with 20 airplanes and that's all we can afford. But by offsetting that cost, by allowing them to build a significant portion of, say, 40 airplanes, and then maybe an option to buy 20 more down the road, it obviously is giving us the business of no airplanes versus a large portion of building 40 airplanes or 60 airplanes or another number. So it is very significant in our business as well.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.